This video is sponsored by my greed and hubris. If you want me to cast your game so you can be famous, and you can send me games of you beating top players and I will cast them, you can pay me inordinate amounts of money. Now I know what you're thinking, Hippie, that sounds like a massive waste of money. Anyway, let's get on with the game. So today we're on the new Two Lakes, and this is played between Friendly Internet Man, who's now called Friendly Random Division Man, and he's up against Jeff, and they're both playing the strongest division in the game, 8th US Infantry. So let's talk about the new map. The new Two Lakes is in the game alongside the old Two Lakes, which I think is a great idea because that allows for people to see which one they prefer. I'm just gonna, one sec, sorry about that. And basically, you got a problem with Two Lakes where you can, with the old one, the zone's sort of like this, right? And so what you would do is just smoke this and put a CV in here. And this one was kind of like this, so you would just smoke this and put a CV in here, smoke this and put a CV in here. And so the solution was to just make the zone smaller. If it was up to me, I'd fix smoke. I'd make it so once you're inside smoke, you can see further than 50 meters. So you run into the smoke, and then you can basically see inside the smoke. So smoke is essentially like a wall on the outside, but that would require some coding from Eugen. Because the current implementation is that the reason you can only see 50 meters inside smoke is because from the outside you can see 50 meters into the smoke, and that's the only way they can do it right now. But yeah, you got these back points. I've never seen... That's not true. It's very rare that you would see people fight for X-Ray and Papa. Lima and Alpha tend to be a bit more fought over. Lima especially is quite close, right? So that's rough for blue. And basically, so 8th doesn't have good forward deployment, so you don't see that here in these deployments. I've not watched the game yet. I am casting it for the first time. And basically, the red team gets into Oscar at the same time as blue does. Red can take these 3 buildings at the start with forward deployed, whereas blue would get to about here. So red has a bit of an advantage if you've got forward deployment, but neither of these guys have forward deployment, so I'm not sure if that's going to work out. And blue cannot do the same in red's zone. Blue would not get there as fast as red. So the map is a little red favoured. Also, it's worth pointing out that Lima seems to be in a much easier place to attack than Alpha. Alpha's quite far away, whereas Lima's quite close. Yeah, I guess if Alpha was like here, maybe that could work. I don't know. And then, yeah, Papa and X-Ray are really quite far away. You don't really see a whole lot of fighting over that. To be honest, what I'd really like to see is an odd number of zones. Do you know what I mean? Because then there could be actually something cool going on. Imagine if there was some zone in the middle. But the map, there's no features here. It's just open, right? So that can be quite frustrating. It would be a bit weird if they just put a zone there. But it would actually help the gameplay a lot if there was an odd number of zones, because then people would actually fight over this. But this is so if it was up to me, I would make a zone, right, really big zone, and it would go here, 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 and here, and so it would be like a zone, yeah, and here. So it would be like a ring around. Well, no, maybe not there. It would be a ring around around this central part. Maybe you could even do it like that. Well, I can't draw the box properly. But this is supposed to be smaller zones, right? So whacking a great big zone in the middle probably wouldn't make too much sense. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you think of the map. Have you got a chance to play it? Do you think it's cool? Comments help the algorithm. Leave a comment. I want to be famous. I want to be rich. Yeah, let's do the deployments. So we'll start with red because I'm over here already. We got an M113 ACAV. This is amazing. You should always bring this with 8th, with scouts, and that's going up to there. But instead of taking the short road, he's decided to take the long road. I'm not sure why. Maybe he expects there to be somebody here, but if there was, when he takes this road, he will still get hit by whoever's in that house. I don't really understand that. And then we've got 2 Engineers Dragon in cars instead of in M113s. I do like the M113s. And they're doing the same thing. They're taking this convoluted route. in case there's somebody here. But if there's somebody here and he's got 675 meter range rocket launcher, he's still going to hit this road. So maybe he's expecting somebody here. I don't know. And then we've got an ACAV going to here, an M150 behind it. You should also be bringing this in 1v1s. This is really good. This is a 50 cal and a tow, regular tow for 40 points with 2 armor. It's really good. It's got good optics, mediocre stealth, recon deployment. It's just really good for just at the start. You just make sure that they're basically everywhere, so your enemy can't sneak through. Another Engineer's Dragon in a car, and a Stinger in a car. What is this path in, man? So what, the Stinger, yeah, so the Stinger's going right past the enemy to here. So I guess he must have changed his mind and he actually meant to put it on this road. Or it might just be something about the path thing, like the auto pathing, that he just pressed unload here and the game decided that this is his best bet of doing that. And the Engineer's Dragon's going to there. And then we've got an ITO. Why is this on this road? This should be on this road. Or maybe it can't be on this road. I can't remember how big the deployment was. Maybe it can't be on that road. Anyway, the ITO's going to there, which is a good spot for it with a supply. And then we've got... so if these guys are going this way, are they facing the right way? They are, yeah. So this could have been over here. Anyway, got another ITO. Very, very defensive deployment here. And 4 Engineers Dragon, 1 Engineer Flash, and 2 Fireteam 84s. Now, these actually come in the M113A3 Dragon. So, the reason, in my eyes, that 8th ID is the best division in the game, one of the reasons, is that basically autocannons don't do much to infantry, but 50 cal still do a reasonable amount for their price. It does, I believe it does less. No, actually, I think it actually does more than an autocannon right now. Don't quote me on that, but I believe a 50 cal is actually more effective against infantry than an autocannon right now. And for their price, they're great. So basically, you just stack up 50 cals and you use that to kill the enemy zombies. So I don't agree with bringing the Engineer Dragon in the car. I would bring the Military Police M67 in the car, and then that's what you've got for your screen at the start. You use that Military Police M67, then you can bring the Engineer's Dragon later. Anyway, he's got Chaparral Powder Supply, and then we already spoke about the 4 Engineers Dragon, the Engineer Flash, which can also come in an M113A3. ITO, I believe I bring that in a car as well. And yeah, the Fireteam 84. So very defensive from Red. Hang on. No CVs, which is very interesting. When you want to defend, if you're defending hard, you should get CVs. Unless you expect your enemy to rush you, in which case you can forgo the CVs. Switching to Jeff's deployment, we got 2 CVs, so we can expect an early point lead from him. So he's going to take Papa Lima, and then presumably he'll take Oscar, and that'll put him on a cheeky +5. We got an ACAV with the scouts, that's going to there, which is fair enough. And behind that we've got Fireteam 84 in Humvees, Mech Rifles Law, which I definitely agree with. I bring 2 cards of those. And I think I down-vetted them recently. I used to bring them at 2 vet, and now I bring them at 1 vet. I might go back to bringing them at 2 vet. It's just something I've been trying. So, Stinger going there, presumably. No, it wasn't. It was going to there. Presumably the Engineer's Dragon's going here. No, it wasn't. It was going to there. Presumably the Fireteam Law is going here. Nope, it was going to there. Okay, and then the Fireteam 84 is going to there. And then the an M150 for there. That's a good spot for it, really. Because it can, if anybody tries to cross here, it will see that. Well, it depends how far out he sends it. And then for mid, we already spoke about CV. We got an LRS. They're going to there. I bring LRS. I also bring scouts in the ACAV. So that's going to there, and this is going to here. So we'll see who gets there first. My money's on the red guy. Looking at the path lengths. And M150's not been pathed. It's not going anywhere. ACAV going to here. And the M150's going to there, presumably. Yep. So there will be some opening engagements there. And then defensive stuff for the town. So Stinger should be going to the church, because it'll get better sightlines. Unless he's going to send it like way over here or something. Yep, I think it was going to the church. And then a second stinger, presumably that one's going over here. Yeah, it is. And then a military police M67. Not sure where that'll be going, presumably like here or something. Nope, that was going to there. And then Fire Team 84, Engineers Dragon, Mech Rifles Law, and an Abrams. The Abrams is being kept in reserve. It's been brought in at 2 vet, which I agree with. The reason it says 3 is because it's next to the CV, and the CV is giving it a buff. So yeah, interesting. Interesting deployments, and we'll get on with the game. And I might as well cast it from this perspective because I'm already here. Right, so they're off, and everybody's going to where we said they were going to go. The exception of this guy who's not been pathed. And yeah, it's going to be a tough game for friendly internet man because blue's open CVs and red's not attacking, which means that blue's going to get a huge point lead, and then red's going to be forced to attack all game into these tiny zones. These tiny, quite hard to attack zones. The advantage 8th has is that it has amazing artillery. It gets the M270, which is one of 2 MLRSs in the game that work. Well, hang on, one of 3. The other 2 are the Uragan. No, hang on, one of 4. Oh dear, this was a bad analogy. This was a bad statement. The other ones that work are the Uragan, the Burrito, and the BM21 Napalm Grad. So, yeah, that's actually... There's only 2 that don't work. No, hang on, I'm making mistakes again. Smirch doesn't work. Lars doesn't work. M270 cluster doesn't work. This isn't going to work. Oh no, he does unload in time. And the Engineer's Dragon misses anyway. Needs to get in the building. Needs to get in the building. Not only would that stop this from shooting at it from its current position, it would also give him a huge cover bonus. He doesn't want to get in the building, so he's going to die. That's a shame, depending on who you're supporting. And then 2 CVs come out for Friendly Internet Man, because he's realised what's going on. Oh, that was cool. So that ACAV just wasted a Mech Rifles Law and an M113A3 Dragon, so that's, you know, pretty big point swing. That's like a 55 plus 25, so that's a 80 point swing. Because look, this is 55 and this is 25. And here we go, the Abrams is being brought up now, but there's no recon. There's recon, but it can't see it. This wasn't unloaded either, so that died. And these were unloaded early, so he's going to take this. And he lost a car, but I think the guy's already got out. So Jeff's sitting on a cheeky +4, +5 now, which is... It's going to continue for some time, actually, because these CVs have to get here, then they have to get there, this one has to get here, then it has to... Well, I guess it just sits there. So, yeah, opening CVs at the start, very helpful in a defensive meta. Unless you really want to Hail Mary it, and you've got the will to attack. Elan, I believe the French call it, the spirit of the offense. Before World War One, the French believed that offense. Well, to be honest, most people, most of the major countries believed that offense would be the name of the game, and that the offense would always beat the defense, because of what happened in the Franco-Prussian War, where the Germans just kept attacking and they just kept winning. But the problem was that you know, barbed wire and machine guns had become much more prevalent. And that meant that defending was OP, much like the current meta, where infantry is so tanky that sure, you can attack, and the infantry will live a long time as they walk across that open field, but the infantry in the enemy's houses are extremely difficult to shift because they're so tanky. You know, it favors the defender more because of the cover bonus that you get from being in a house compared to the no cover bonus you get from being in the open, or the limited that you get from being in a forest. So in the old 2 lakes, once you lost this zone as blue, once you lost this little housing block as blue, you would basically lose the game, because then the enemy would smoke here and just put CV in there. And if you wanted to get in that smoke, you had to run across this open field, and he'd have guys in these houses and around here and stuff to shoot you. But with this new map, that's no longer the case, so Jeff can afford to lose this and then defend this. And he buys a bomber. Good idea, actually, because there's no AA. And you see that bombers are kind of weird in that they only damage one unit at once in a house, so that these guys survive despite being on the same square as the other guys, and that's because the damage hit the first guys and not the second guys. These guys are getting, yeah, I was going to say, should really unload those. So these mech rifles Laura coming in, and the dragons can shoot, which is crucial. The 50 cals on the dragons can shoot, which is crucial because they're what's doing the damage. 8th does benefit from the fact that these mech rifles Laura have 3 LSWs, so even though small arms don't really do a lot, these will actually do a little bit because they've got 3 of them. So mech rifles Laws is a very strong unit right now. 11 squad strength, which is really what matters right now. Just squad strength is what matters. And the Cobras get brought in here. I thought there was a Stinger here, but I guess he got rinsed by the mech rifles Law and the Dragons, and that allows the Cobras to be moved in. That Dragon's gonna miss. And yeah, Red takes this point here. And he's got this point here. So he is in a better position to attack, whereas if Blue wants to attack, he's got to work across here, and Red has this. I mean, if this was like up here, then he could get him in a crossfire. As it stands, this guy's sort of in the wrong house. Or you need a guy in this house as well. But Red's defense is much better than Blue's defense right now, but Blue does have a 341 point lead, so he can afford to defend. Having units here is great. It's better if you've got them here as Blue, but Red will get to this first, as we spoke about, because with the forward deployment stuff, Red would actually get to Oscar, this corner of the town, when Blue gets to about here. And yeah, there are tanks here, so the points are similar in terms of like the amount of points defending, because the tank's very expensive, and that's a very expensive loss, losing that Ito, because that's 80 points, and the transport was another 20. So yeah, that's rough. So yeah, I was kind of told that this game was exciting. It kind of seems like a normal metagame to me, both sides just playing for KD for 30 minutes. I think the new map's really cool. The only thing I have a problem with is Red getting to here. But the problem is that the map has come out in a defensive focus meta, and now you have to attack a really small zone. So it's not it's the right map for the wrong meta. Or it's the wrong meta for this right map, or however you want to say it. So both sides are content to build up. And I guess once they build up, what I would really love to see is an M270 purchased by either player, because if an M270 were to land here, that would pay for itself almost immediately. And same for the one here, and that's basically the only way you're going to crack this town. The scouts go down there to these Abrams, which are getting stacked up now. Would love to see some exceptional optics here from Jeff. If he could get LRS into this building, they would see more than this M150 is going to see. The blue means that it can't see there, despite having LOS. So if it's within the LOS, like this part, it's within the LOS but it's blue, it means that it can't see it because its recon optics are not powerful enough. And if you've got LRS there, they'd be able to see into this little bit of forest. So we're sitting and we're waiting, and first piece of artillery finally comes on the field. It's a mortar, but both players content to sit and wait and sit. And that's all the meta is, really, right now. Attacking is rough. Friendly Internet Man did take this, so that's pretty cool. And that ACAV goes down to this kind of piece. No, it can't have done. That's still got... It was the side toe, must have got it. So something has happened, and we're back to waiting around. So how's your day going? I've got to fill the airwaves. Remember to remain hydrated. And the Kanch PZs are 50 points now, so I don't bring them anymore. I think they're a waste of money. I'd rather have 2 of these. Because, yeah, it's 50 points. It's if it was 40, I'd bring it. But 50 is pretty rough. The thing is, with IFVs being so weak, they can be good, but this division doesn't get IFVs anyway, so I don't feel the need for a 50-point tank. I would rather either shell out more for one of these. 4 of these in a good position will beat one of these, but at max range, just plinking, this thing's definitely better. And then for the cheap fire support, I stack M113A3s, but these guys are bringing quite a lot of their guys in cars. You should definitely bring a couple guys in cars. The M67 military police, which yeah, red's got that, blue doesn't. They're good to bring in cars for the opener. Then all my spammy stuff I try and bring in M113A3s as much as possible. Because that's my cheap fire support, I don't bring the Kanch PZ. ACAV's also great fire support, you know, if you just compare this to an ACAV. So 10 rate of fire, 0.9 HE, 3 armor, fair enough. This is less. The HE's higher, the accuracy is lower, the rate of fire is lower, so that's fair enough, but it's also got 50 cal. And they've both got a medium machine gun. And it's a recon unit. So, yeah. I think the Kanch PZ's quite expensive now, I don't like bringing it. But, yeah, if you've got a bunch of them, like, so if infantry's coming towards you, then 4 Kanch PZs is more useful than 1 M1 Abrams. Because the HE damage output's just way higher. And if they start dying, you know, if 1 Kanch PZ gets hit by a M72 law and goes to low cohesion, you still have 3 that don't. Unless you've put them all together like an idiot. Whereas if this gets hit by an M72 law and goes to low cohesion, then you've only got 1 Abrams, right? Another interesting point on the Kanch PZ is that it does actually bring smoke, which the ACAV does not do. So you see these smoke launchers here? Sadly, from the UI, there is absolutely no way to tell if the smoke is on the unit. For starters, there's no smoke box here. All they have to do is make a little box. Smoke, yes, no. And there's also no way for smoke to be to see if it's been fired, except you just look at the button that comes up down here saying pop smoke. And if you can pop smoke, then you haven't fired your smoke yet. Interestingly enough, when you resupply a unit, it takes a while to heal up, right? But the smoke will replenish immediately. As soon as you start resupplying that unit, the smoke ammo will go from 0 to 1. Because get this, smoke is a 4th weapon. So we don't have 4 weapons in the game. We're not allowed 4 weapons because we're not intelligent enough for a 4th weapon. But the way smoke is modeled in the game is that it is a 4th weapon. It behaves exactly like a 4th weapon slot. You know, it gets resupplied from the supply. Where are the smoke canisters on this? Oh, they're these things at the front here. So yeah, both sides have bought artillery and then not used it. What's that mortar? It's not shooting. Like, you might say, well, it's probably because he can't see anybody. Where do you think he's going to be? The zone ain't that big, mate. Take a wild guess. And for Jeff's side, you know, he knows that he's just lost this, so why not chuck some mortar rounds at that? If you buy an artillery piece, you should use it. Same on this side, there's a mortar here. Use it. You've got this mortar, you should use it. And, yeah, this is a pretty good example of, is this going to the church? No, that's a shame. If you could put a toe in here, it's actually really good. Oh, I see, so that can actually shoot at that road. Hang on. Oh, it's going for this, okay. Yeah, I am flabbergasted. So another CV has been purchased for Lima. There's one already here, but I assume he intends to attack, and so this is his CV to send in. The iHawk, you want to keep your transport with it. This one that's currently going away, you want to keep that with it, because after it shoots, your enemy's going to try and howitzer it. Oh, that chaparral went down to this Ito, presumably. Can't see what else could have killed it. So yeah, we missed the first kill of the last 5 minutes, and there's lots of infantry here. That's the same one. So he's smoking, so presumably he intends to attack, but there's not been any artillery preparation. I mean, I guess this is artillery preparation. But it looks like the aim of the game here is to just unload on top of him. This tank's really going to put a dampener on that, because it's going to shoot all of them as it goes past. Unless the Ito hits it. Okay, so the Ito stuns it. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. But hey, at least something's happening. So yeah, that flash goes down, and then, you know, so this guy has short range AT and the rest don't. So this Engineer's Dragon will actually be able to blow up that vehicle, but the Law will. And the Cobras are coming in. Seed's been sent out against Stingers and Chaparrals, although the Eyehawk, it misses the Eyehawk. It had one job. At least it survives. And yeah, cool, an attack. Really, you want to buy an M270 before you do this, and just imagine if all this just wasn't here. It could be true. All you need is an M270. Really surprised that neither player has invested in heavy artillery. I'm gonna level with you here. I mean, a lot of people say they prefer watching this patch. Yeah, it looks really cool, doesn't it? But ultimately, not very fun to play. So, yeah, Red seems to be making some headway, but I don't really think it's working. There's just too much in here. Because once he gets in here, he actually has to kill this infantry, and this is all still full HP. On this side, he might get in here, as long as this tank's shooting. Yeah. Although I'm not sure what happened to the Abrams that were here. There were two Abrams. Oh, there's one. This Ranger sort of sprinting across the field. And the other one must have died to, like, this. Or maybe this Ito or something. Smoke's still going on. Yep. More fire team Law being sent in, but you're being caught in this crossfire here. At least this M1 can start shooting that. Finally get that. Gets rid of it, at least. This guy needs to get out of there, because if that Stinger hits its second one, he's dead. And it does. 2 shots, 2 hits. Classic 50% accuracy things. And yeah, I think Red's not going to win this. Depends what Blue's buying. If he's getting more infantry, he isn't. Cobra's fair enough. There's one Stinger and one Chaparral here, and a Pivad and another Stinger, so he should have got some more infantry. But yeah, the helicopters can work because they will burst down these guys because the AA is so far behind. As you can see, Ito in a church tower, really effective at dealing with all this trash. Tow Cobra probably would have been more effective than 2 regular Cobras here, like 1 Tow Cobra, 1 regular Cobra. This is probably going to kill that if everything else doesn't get it already. Yeah. Oh, something's happening over here as well. Zoom out a bit. So yeah, there's definitely more of a spectacle in this patch because both sides build up for a long time, but ultimately the attacker always has a disadvantage. I don't understand both players' decision to not bring howitzers. It's I mean, I play the game a lot more than both of these guys, presumably, but from my perspective, it seems intuitive. Although I guess, you know, if you have somebody say it to you, then it clicks, right? Look how small this zone is. That means that targets are closer together, which means that an M270 MLRS will get lots of kills on that, and you have one of those. So why not spend 15 minutes just hitting the entire zone with that, and then do this cool attack, and see where that gets you. But over here, Blue is not really getting anywhere either, although Red is attacking into Blue, as opposed to the other way round. And yeah, the ability for infantry to just sort of walk across an open field is really mind-boggling. The Red Abrams that was here is still here, but the Blue one's getting healed. Would have been good to see an Ito in this building, in one of these buildings. It's really useful because if your enemy attacks here, you can shoot across. The tank basically fulfills the same role. The AA... Oh, he's got no Stingers anyway. The AA has not been moved up to deal with this Cobra. And yeah, he's just sort of walking into him. If you haven't seen my patch analysis, check it out. Basically, the infantry damage hasn't really changed, so... what has changed is people's mindsets. Basically, defending with tanky infantry is easier than attacking with tanky infantry, so why not defend? And as Jeff has an early point lead, he can afford to just defend, whereas friendly Internet Man has to attack. So, yeah, another M1 Abrams purchase. To be honest, when you're up against enemy M1 Abrams, you want to buy an M1A1 Abrams. And, okay, so he's just box selected all his units, click Q and click the enemy base. That's why they all started moving at once. At least he didn't send the CV. There's not actually too much here, although there's a lot here. So if he puts this dragon here, it can shoot across. If he puts this M113 here, it can shoot across. The mech rifles law can stand here and shoot things, but he's not really reacting. There is an Abrams here, but that's not in a... Well, to be honest, as soon as this guy moves forwards, it's going to hit him. Yeah, here we go. No. So, cluster out for this. Doesn't one-shot. And it will survive, it seems. And Thunderbolt out. Lots of helicopters here for blue. Not a lot of AA here for red. Well, I mean, he's finally moved up that Stinger. This guy's still out of ammo. We could have used a supply there, really. This is interesting, though. Sorry, I gotta zoom out again. I hope you've got a nice big monitor. You're not watching this on your phone. Let me know what you think of zoom levels. I mean, I am influenced by your feedback, even if I just think, man, this guy's a nutter, and then I write your name down. This is going to go about as well as you might expect. I could use a CV snipe shot though, so let's check this out. What even happened there? Did this hit it? I think it did. So yeah, red's not doing a great job here. I mean, he was just advancing into a force of equal size and the enemy had a building advantage. And whereas here, his ability to click Q and click the enemy zone is just mind-blowing, really. Just walking, like, the Itos are in front doesn't seem to matter. They just took out that Abrams. And there's not, you know, Jeff's finally woken up. Here's some reinforcements coming. He's not using his mortar. He sent the air over here, the Thunderbolt. He sent it over here. Imagine if it was here. Imagine if these helicopters had ammo. You can also, and I know this sounds really bizarre, dear viewer, I know that you may never truly believe in this. You can get your tanks, right, and you can actually press F and just get them over here pretty fast. But no one ever seems to do that. And the same could be said of red. Okay, this ain't working out. I'll get my tanks and I'll send them over here. That's something I'm also trying to improve on. It just seems to be a mindset inherently that people see the tank over here and they say, well, that's a tank for over here. It'll take too long to get over here. But because the fights take so long, you can definitely get it over here. This is a tow cobra, and it will rinse all these guys very slowly. That seed went down to this fighting falcon. This push is basically over. Jeff should counter push now. He should get some infantry and send it across this field. Thing is, he doesn't really have to because he's got the flight advantage. But this is actually working, which is interesting to say the least. I mean, he literally, you saw that, right? He just drag boxed his guys and just right-clicked, pressed Q and then clicked here. And then, you know, obviously he's changed things up a bit as the fight's gone on. But I'm seeing a lot of dead blue units here. Like, this entire reinforcement line got rinsed by the Ito and the... potentially this tow cobra. No, it's not fired. Whoa. So that's the sound an M60 makes, apparently. And here comes the CV direct into the path of that mech rifle's law. You know, you might want to path it around here instead of fast moving it. These guys can't shoot it because their gun only goes 2,000... Oh, no, here we go. Well, will it fire? No, it doesn't. He still sees it, though, somehow. Oh yeah, because of this. Oh yeah, so he gets it. So that's a shame, you know, if you'd got that in there and then just sat it behind this building. I guess it wouldn't be in the zone, you could sit it behind this building. Or just wait, you know, just wait. Don't be such a zoomer, just wait. Yeah. So Jeff's seen off the attack here, and he's killed the CV here. Here comes a Thunderbolt. And there's no AA, although there is a Fighting Falcon. Because that's going for the tow cobra. So if the missile doesn't hit, it's not going to kill it in one pass, because the Vulcan has really bad damage, unlike the French 30mm nose gun. And yeah, we got 2 Thunderbolts coming in here, so like sees like. This guy's still in the map. He's going for the Cobra, not Thunderbolt though. Oh, why did he turn off? Nah, you don't turn off, mate. You right-click him with your gun, because that's what's doing the why did he turn off? Damn. So, yeah, it's all about the gun on the A-10. Now you right-click these helicopters, there we go. Right-click that one. Okay, that was a bit weird. So there's the CV. Yeah, and there's 2 CVs, so as we spoke about earlier. This obviously is sort of finished. I mean, there's nothing to stop Blue from trying to push a bit here. He's got the means to do so. That finally gets hit by that Falcon. I don't bring Chaparrals anymore, I bring Pivad's Eyehawk Stinger. The Chaparral is strong, but it's only got 4 missiles. And I think the Eyehawk gives you the reach, and then, you know, the Pivad's obviously the anti-helicopter range isn't as good as the Chaparral. If you're up against like a Hilo heavy deck, the Chaparral can be a real lifesaver. And also it can do things like that. So it can be very good. But yeah, I'm trying out the Pivads these days, and that seems to work quite well too. So here we go, Blue's now attacking. Or is he just defending a bit more aggressively, I guess? I know he's attacking here now. Is there another CV coming in, or... I guess he just wants to reinforce the position. Because, yeah, he's in danger of being isolated here. And he's brought a supplier, which is intelligent. So... yeah, after that period of lots of things happening, we're back to essentially where we started. Although Red is in Blue's zone, he doesn't have a CV, and so he's still behind, so he must bring a CV. Smoke in here can be smart to draw the enemy's attention, make him think that you're going to attack there. It's better than doing nothing. You do open yourself to counter battery. This guy's going to fly over Pivad Stinger Chaparral. He didn't even get the bomb off. But he does survive. This guy's out of ammo. And that Chaparral's gonna die! Oh no, it's not. And these 2 flash should clear out these mostly dead squads, these half-dead squads like this guy doesn't have any ammo. This guy's got lots of ammo. Etc. I'm just really surprised that neither player bought heavy artillery. No howitzers, no M270. I like the mortar play, mortars are cool. But yeah, on these small zones, it's all about those howitzers. And, well, it's really all about the M270 if you can get that. Particularly on these zones here. So, Jeff's reinforcing with Rangers. And that allows him to keep the helicopter there to quote-unquote deal damage. It's more about scouting, so you know where all the enemies are, because if he puts a CV in here you'd see that now. And this Chaparral's not really in a position to deal with that. There was a tank here, there it is. And friendly internet man's reinforcing with arrow rifles, probably because he knows there's some guys around here and so he doesn't want to send units too deep. That's probably why this guy's not in there as well. F-16 is not good against helicopters, really. I mean, better than nothing. That missile hit, though, as you heard from that big smack sound. Still no CV. But, yeah, I'm in awe of the drag box, your zone, click Q and click on enemy zone meta. That's really something. The guys on Reddit are going to love that. High testosterone plays. And yeah, the Ito, most people bring the Ito over the TOW2, or the regular TOW, and it just has this nice sweet spot in terms of accuracy, range, and pen. The TOW2 is really expensive for only a few more pens, so you might as well bring the Ito. And if you want TOW2s, you can always bring a CFV Bradley or something, but generally the Ito's enough. It deals so much suppression, 312 suppression. So here we go, reinforcement road's been cut now, so all you guys have to come down here and then path in. You have to do that manually. Anybody you just send down here is going to get hit by this tank. So blue's slowly getting starved out here, and you see that red's not really losing units. Like I said, big spectacle. There you go, red lost a unit. So aero rifles versus rangers in the Blackhawks. Rangers lose to KDA shots, and because all that matters is squad size, despite the fact that they're shock and special forces. But they do get an AT4, and they're 45 points. Whereas aero rifles, so they also get 2 machine guns, and they do a bit more HE, but I believe they have less fire rate. Yeah. So I think the Ranger machine guns are better, but aero rifles are a 10-man squad. And they get the law, which is worse than the AT4, but it's still pretty good now that it's all about the suppression. But they're 10 points more. So, which do you bring? It's up to you. Right, which way is this going? Imagine if he had a howitzer and he could just smoke here. And then he could just drive that into there. As opposed to waiting for a mortar to move up or something. Where are Blue's points going? Oh, he's buying tanks, and he may have or may not have bought another jet. That might have been from before. I just feel like Red's got more points coming. Do you know what I mean? I guess the Abrams are pretty expensive, right? But yeah, this A10 is going to settle the score if it manages to get both of these. It does. That was a side shot. So there you go, he 360 no-scope that second tank with the side shot. Chaparral gets 2 hits, so it takes 3 to bring down a Thunderbolt because of its armor profile. It's got 2 armor on the rear, so if that had hit on the side, it would have actually killed it. And here come the aero rifles, and there's the only AA is this Chaparral, and you see the Chaparral is too expensive to send too far forwards. Whereas the Pivads, because it's so available, so cheap, you can afford to just kind of send it in. But really, that's what manpads are for. But yeah, the Chaparral's anti-plane range is very silly. It's I think it's too high. Don't see why Fire and Forget missile should have 3,700 meter plane range. So there you go. CV goes down to this heli drop basically on top of it, and that gives friendly internet mana +4 with 8 minutes left. So unless Blue does something, and so he's now reinforcing this, so he's sort of recognised, well, back to defending. Well, I say back to defending. It's time to defend. And yeah, these toes are messing up Jeff. He's not getting any recon here, so he probably can't even see this. Do you see how the building's sort of coated in blue? That means that he can't see it. So he's being shot by these toes and he can't even see it. So he's losing all his reinforcements, which is very sad. And there is a CV here, but if he sends it in, it might die. And all his reinforcements keep dying to these toes in buildings. This needs a supply. There is one here. This tank's not really in a position to do anything. Needs to be moved up, although I guess he's scared of another Thunderbolt coming and killing it. Which is fair enough, really. He's still smoking here just to make the enemy think that he's going to attack, and I think that's pretty smart, to be honest. Although actually, he might actually just attack. It looks like he's actually just going to attack. Although, he's going to run out of ammo. So he needs to bring up some more supply. Sell this one, of course, but easier to judge than it is to play. I try to be as high level as I can be. But yeah, obviously if instead of making YouTube videos, if I put all that time into playing, I would be better, right? So anybody better than me wasn't available. Is essentially what I'm trying to say. So here we go, zombies walking in, and he's managed to overcome the toe problem by just running into 12 toes. So now there's no more toe problem. Which is certainly an interesting way of doing it. And here comes the CV. It's interesting that he's bringing these rocket Kyoas. So it does get exceptional optics. But the cost is high and the availability is low. This Chaparral will probably make short work of this Thunderbolt. But if he can get the Abrams first. No, he pulls it off. Mate, surely not 3 shots, 3 hits. Surely not. Surely a 55% accuracy thing against a 20% ECM target would not fire 3 times and get 3 hits. That cluster bomb actually misses, even though it looks like it hits. It just misses. I guess the FX is bigger than the actual thing. The enemy's got a cluster here as well. I don't actually bring these because they're just so inconsistent. Well, I mean, they're consistently terrible, as you can see. Over here. Oh, he's attacking again. I missed it. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I was looking over there. So he smoked and then he ran in with his units again. There's just so much skill on display in this meta. I really, I'm just in awe at how much skill is in this meta. You get your infantry, you click Q, you click on the enemy. But yeah, no howitzers was really... Just don't get that from both players, just don't get that. Quit suiciding F-16s into things and buy an M270. Imagine an M270 here. There you go, no more blue player. Imagine an M270 here. So many opportunities for M270s on this Two Lakes duel map. Although this was probably played on ranked, so they don't know if they're going to get that map, but I think the M270 is just so useful. Jägerfuhrer destroyed. Ah, so that was on this side. That CV that he was sending in, that died. Probably to these ITOs, which have now still not been dealt with. Imagine if there was a Paladin howitzer. Yeah, good bomb. He's not coming back around, is he? Oh no. Oh, he surrendered. So yeah, GG. Another classic Mortier patch moment there. Between this isn't me. It just comes up with my profile. But yeah, Jeff's ranked 187, and this guy I think is ranked about the same. So Friendly Internet Man's ranked about the same. So this is between some of the top players in the game. Not top 1%, but maybe top 5%, I guess. And so this is the meta. The only thing they were missing was the artillery. Really, artillery doesn't number on this map. And unlike a plane, it doesn't die to a chaparral. So yeah, what more is there to say? If you like this kind of video, if you like videos, if you want me to be happy, then like and thumbs up, etc. Otherwise I'll be sad, etc.